Okay, good afternoon. My name is Tim Clifford, President and CEO of Frontline Education. Last time I was in Salt Lake City, I was with a different company. We had talk about people management, which is what we're going to talk about here. We had a group of 100 clients coming out in February for a client meeting up at Snowbird. And a few of us who were skiers came out a day early. It had been snowing for 6 days. There was so much powder. It was great skiing. And then the next day we had buses pick up all of our 100 clients, take them over to our facility, and then they were bringing them up to Snowbird for this conference. And they decided to shoot off the avalanche cannons on the canyon road as the buses were approaching with our 100 clients, which proceeded to put 25 feet of snow on the road. So we had dinner and cocktails and spent the evening by ourselves while our clients sat in the bus. So not very good people management. It wasn't our fault, but we were off to a rocky start. Hopefully we'll have some more timely and relevant things to talk about here today. So I am Tim Clifford, President and CEO of Frontline Education. Formerly, I launched a company in the commercial space, doing human capital management, web software platforms. Came out of the late 90s when a bunch of us were playing around with ideas about how to use the web across the enterprise. And that company was called Workscape. I eventually went into ADP and ran a large division of ADP for a few years. And then I was approached by Insight Venture Partners to join this company, and I am so glad I did. We are all about HCM software and data and insights. So we'll talk about that today. But we are an HCM software platform company, basically built to manage everything about the employees at a school district. School district, not unlike commercial environments, 80% of the spend in the district is on people. And so our mission is to assist in the delivery of human services in a district which drives a more efficient, more effective school district, which is a simple goal for us, but takes an awful lot of work. We provide insights as well. We'll talk about that because we have so much data on our platform, which you'll get to take a look at. We are drawing that data up into dashboards for administrators, superintendents, principals, and the like, to be able to look at how they're doing, how they're performing, compare themselves to other districts, drill down and find out how they may adopt, find out where they're doing something wrong, or frankly see where they're doing something great, and share that with other districts. There's an awful lot of data. There's an awful lot of information. Trying to bring that to a usable format, succinct data presented at the right time for people to make decisions is really important. So we have, oh, there they are. I said, wait a minute, that's not my slide. So we have a tremendous amount of market share today. Let me talk a little bit about the company from our footprint perspective. We have 9,500 K-12 organizations today on our software platforms. That represents 8,500 districts and about 1,000, quote, others being private schools, charter schools, BOCES. We have a few College of Eds. But primarily our focus is on public school districts. So we have an incredible footprint. As you can see from our retention statistics, we take retention very seriously. We're very, very focused on client satisfaction. It is a great business if you focus in that direction. In this particular space, you can have very, very sticky solutions. And 97% retention is a great stat and allows us to grow that much faster when we hold on to clients in that way. Our 4-year growth rate, 52% CAGR. So we have been growing rapidly. We have been doing acquisitions, but we also have the largest sales force in the industry that we work in. We've got about 60 quota-carrying reps who are on the street working in districts every day, explaining our solutions and helping them solve their problems. So we've got tremendous coverage in the industry. We support about 2.4 million teachers today on our platforms. And the statistic in the upper left corner, 1.6 to 14, what that represents is the fact that we have grown so rapidly through both acquisition and building solutions over the last 3 years that we've actually built the portfolio so broad that our clients really haven't kind of caught up to all the solutions we have today. Today we have an average, actually it's 1.7 as of yesterday. 1.7 is the average number of modules a client has, but we have 14 modules today on the platform. And so we're bringing these modules back to our base, and about 72% of our sales today come from selling back to our base. So it's a very strong model. Our history, the history for Frontline Education really started in 1998 with Frontline Technologies, two founders who developed an application to manage subs. So think of Uber for substitutes, which essentially is what it is today. It is a SaaS application. If I get up in the morning, I'm not feeling well, I punch out. It automatically routes to all of the teachers in our database who the district has approved to be, they are certified to be in the front of that classroom on that particular day with that grade level. And we wait for somebody to grab it. And so no longer does the school have Mary or Bob with a big notebook in the morning sitting there dialing for dollars trying to find substitutes. So these two founders created an app that was just a no-brainer for a very modest subscription price. You could really get out of the whole mess of trying to manage substitutes, and substitutes love this. And you get a higher fill rate, so you have more teachers in the front of classrooms if you use the application. So that's where they started, and they were happy in building that business up to about 5,000 districts across the United States. When Insight Venture Partners made an investment in the company, 80% of the company, and provided capital and infrastructure for the company to essentially build the human capital management platform in K-12. The market is very fragmented. There's a lot of either mom and pop shops or there's a lot of manual process. We replace a lot of spreadsheets. Believe it or not, we replace paper and pencil in a lot of cases. So the automation, the efficiency that's gained by putting our platform in is quite significant. We also did a number of things over the last couple of years. We're quite busy. We made 5 acquisitions last year. We moved into the special education space, where there's an awful lot of, obviously, compliance and regulatory issues. You have to get it right. And there's a lot of paraprofessionals that have to be managed. And you have another added benefit because we're managing the whole IEP process and the services that get delivered. We have completely 100% accurate data to bill Medicaid. So today, if a district is not using a highly efficient software platform like ours, they literally are leaving money on the table because they never are billing for all of the services that they provide. So it's a great ROI in that solution. Last year, we also launched the Frontline Research and Learning Institute. This is essentially a nonprofit effort by us to take advantage of all of the data that we have on our servers. I'll talk about that a little bit more. And so it was quite a busy year for us last year. This year in 2017, we launched our Insights platform, which is a pretty elegant way to take both the developed solutions we've built and the acquisitions and put them into a framework where they work very, very well together without having to rewrite every application when we do acquisitions. Acquisitions is, one half of our growth plan, our strategic plan. The other half is to grow organically, so 20% organic, 20% inorganic. We don't want to have to rewrite these applications every time we buy one, and so our engineering department, our CTO, did a phenomenal job of building a framework. We'll talk about that in a second to go forward. So we launched the platform, and districts are now getting the benefit of this data insights that are coming up with which they can make decisions. So a lot has gone on in the last year, been a very busy year. We enjoy some pretty good recognition both around our solutions as well as our culture. Glassdoor, we've got some great ratings when we compare ourselves to anybody else in the industry, any of our competitors. We usually are on top. We take our culture very seriously. And the Muse, we were very happy to see that they announced that we were one of 19 companies in the United States as great as Google. So we had some really good feedback around the company, around the culture. We do believe strongly in building a high-performance organization and a place where people want to jump out of bed and come to work every day. And when you do that, they take care of your clients, you have high productivity, you get the discretionary energy from people. That's what we're looking for, and that's the environment that we've created here. We really feel like we've got a great team. Aside from me, I'm dragging down the average, but we have a mix of both education experts, executives, and folks who've come out of the human capital management commercial space where this whole movie has already been played. So we have the advantage of being able to see around corners and move very quickly. So Paula Olson, our CFO, was running the ed tech practice for Wells Fargo as an investment banker, so she's seen the industry for 8 years through that lens. Frank Tate is a 30-year ed tech executive. He runs our product management and M&A. Tony Marzulli, Bill Bergen, and Jim Catalino all came from ERP, enterprise, or human capital management, very successful companies in the commercial space. And so we're bringing this kind of talent to the table. And again, it's, I think we're able to see around corners, and the organization is able to move very rapidly because we've already seen how this movie plays out in another sector. So let's talk about the Insights platform. The Insights platform is basically 6 components. The first is on the bottom, the foundation layer. The foundation layer includes things like mobile, very important, single sign-on, common look and feel, common UI, workflow, reporting and dashboards capabilities. So these are all common services that are used, and security, that are used across all of the applications. And again, with single sign-on, people are coming through one door, even though we have a variety of applications, whether we've built or bought in the background, users don't know that. And everything's integrated on the back end. So that's the foundation layer. Across the middle tier there, frontline recruiting and hiring, we have a bundle of applications that is part of our recruiting and hiring bundle. So we have K-12 JobSpot, which is a job board essentially generated by all of our clients using our ATS, our applicant tracking system. So we have one of the largest job boards for K-12 employees in the country. And we then have a system which enables HR or hiring managers to assess through an algorithm who are the right candidates with the right skills and the best in class for me. And then they're able to run the whole applicant process and then onboard those teachers and employees into the school district. We also just announced 2 weeks ago, we bought Teachers Teachers. Teachers Teachers is different. If you think of K-12 JobSpot, it's putting out an ad that says, we have a job. And if really great teacher that you really want isn't looking at your job board, you don't attract them. Teachers Teachers has created talent pools where teachers have opted in and they build their profile in these talent pools. They have a number of state contracts where states are very worried about the teacher shortage, and especially about equity, where some of the urban or more affluent suburban districts don't have a problem attracting teachers, but you have rural and other lower socioeconomic districts that have a problem. And so they've created these pools, and so now we have these great talent pools where a district that can essentially go into the pool, can say, I need someone with these kinds of skills, this kind of background, and they can see an individual and they can recruit that individual. So especially with the teacher shortage, and as the teacher shortage continues to get worse, this is a critical component that we've added to the portfolio, and we now have that with the job capabilities there. We have the largest job board and also a talent pool, the largest talent pool in the United States of teachers. Frontline absence and time, talked about the substitute management application. That's a big value that we provide to districts today. We also have a full time and attendance system for all staff, all permanent staff. And absence management. So that's the management of who's here today. It's not unusual when I go talk to districts, I can say how many employees work in the district, and you can't get an exact answer. There's a lot of information and data, a lot of different systems. There's no one record, there's no one system of record, there's no one instance of the truth as what's going on in the district. I'll come back to that in a second. But this is all absence and time. Frontline professional growth is around evaluation of teachers and as well professional development. We have the largest portfolio of evaluation and professional development in the industry. And special ed and interventions we went into last year, and we made 3 acquisitions. And this is an area, again, extreme compliance, but also from workflow productivity, managing talent, managing your paraprofessionals. It's a very complicated area. You have to get it right. There's a lot of litigation exposure. And so using these platforms just really drives a more efficient and effective delivery of special ed solutions. Special ed is about 12% of the students in the district on average, but it's about 23 to 25% of your spend. So it clearly is an area that needs to have focus and needs to have rigid software and best practice. Lastly, Frontline Central. So Frontline Central is designed to be that single instance of the truth about an individual. So prior to Frontline Central, people may have information about an employee in their payroll system. They might have some if they have a recruiting system. They might have some other information in their special ed system and the time and attendance system. But in districts, before we've come along with this, districts do not have one instance of the truth about an individual. All of their certifications, where they live, who they are, what kind of certifications they have to be, tests and certifications they have to be qualified for to teach in the next year. And so Frontline Central is that single instance of the truth. And we just released this in January. It's going phenomenally well. We launched a kind of a first version of this last year, and the response was so great we decided really to go into this. So Frontline Central is an important part of the system as we go forward. So by dint of the base of clients that we have, that we talked about, the 9,500 organizations, which is the largest footprint in the industry, we have an enormous amount of data. We've done 9 acquisitions. Every one of the acquisitions that we've done has come with data. In every single case, any of the founders of those organizations has never deleted data. So we have years and years and years of data that we've now acquired and we've put together. And so this creates an opportunity for us to mine that data and bring this back in the way of research reports, benchmark reports, but also, again, bringing the data up into dashboards for people to make decisions. Again, it's hundreds of millions of records, and the Frontline Research and Learning Institute has, our managing director is Elizabeth Combs, who's done a phenomenal job. We launched this last year. And if you go to our website, you can go to the Research and Learning Institute website. You can see the benchmark reports that we produce monthly. We've got a lot of reports around time, attendance, professional growth. The other thing that this does for us, because we have so much data, I'll give you an example. Last year when the ESSA law was passed, federal legislation, in it was included basically a 6-parameter definition of appropriate professional development. So we went back into our data and we selected a number of clients which represented 100,000 teachers, and we looked at all of the professional development that had been administered to them over 4 years. And we then compared that to the new ESSA definition of professional development, and we found that 80% of the professional development does not meet the standard under ESSA. So these are the kinds of benchmark reports and research we do. We do not charge for this. It's all free. It's published and it's shared with our clients as a way that we help to advance the education community and don't harbor all this data and charge for it or do nothing with it. So unique and valued resources. We work with the Center for Research and Reform in Education at Johns Hopkins. They have validated both our algorithms as well as the fact that our data is representative of what happens in the United States because the data set is so large. They've been a great partner for us. We have an external advisory council, so we really have kind of given over some control over the Research and Learning Institute in terms of where it goes, what it looks at, what the findings are, and we are also in talks with a number of organizations who want to access the data to do some good things with it. And so we will partner with organizations, not for them to sell it or to make money on it, but to do research that they might marry with some of their data or otherwise release information to the community. So that's the Research and Learning Institute. However, I would tell you that last year, it was just about a year ago, we met a fellow by the name of John Dacey, who's a former superintendent of LA Unified. And John came together with us in a brainstorming session just about, what can we do together? He's a phenomenal guy. He's an amazing individual. He has so much energy and so much experience. And in our conversation with him, it got to a point I said, is there a Harvard Business Review type journal for superintendents, by superintendents, which really brings very thoughtful and deep opinion insights, but allows people to come together on the town green, so to speak. And we want left, right, and center individuals. We want traditionalists and reformers to come together and really find common ground, because this is about the kids, and the more we fight about whether something's right or wrong, the more we dig in the heels and want our point heard or change affected in the district, kids are growing older and they're going through grades. And so this is an effort that we've undertaken. We have examples of a publication that we produced called The Line. This came out just about 3 months ago. And it is a publication of the Research and Learning Institute that provides information and insights from education leaders for education leaders, as I said. So John Dacey is the editor-in-chief. And let me just give you an example of some of our advisory board members. Dr. Andres Antonio Alonso, Professor of Practice, Harvard Graduate School of Education. Dr. Jaime Aquino, Chief Program Officer of New Leaders. Charlotte Danielson of the Danielson Group. Alan Grossman, Senior Fellow, Harvard Business School. Dr. Frederick Hess, Resident Scholar and Director of Education Policy Studies, American Enterprise Institute. Harry Kiley, board member of the California State Teachers Retirement System. Sherry Miller, who's hiding in the back over here, education expert, and many years of expertise that she's lending to the program. Paul Toner, who's a union president. So as you can see, we're getting people from different walks of life here to come together. And this has really been a remarkable venture. We produced the first print version a couple of months ago. As I said, we'll go out and print twice a year, but we do put updates in digital format. We've got the line K12.com. So you can go there and by the way, it's pretty cool when somebody produces a paper or writes on the site, there is contextual comments. So it's not that you have ability to comment in a long list down below the document and be anonymous. You have to register, but then you can put contextual comments and you can comment as in a paragraph and say, I disagree with this point, or I agree with this and such and such and such. So it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool interactive site. Beyond the Line and the Research and Learning Institute, give you a sense of some of the dynamics here for us. This is the obligatory "we're better than everybody else" slide. So we get to put the slide together according to our parameters, but it does suggest that we're the only company over 100 million in scale in revenue, only focused on K-12, that offers professional development, absence and time, recruiting and hiring, and special education. Pretty proud of that and pretty committed to it. To give you a sense of our scale, posted 43.8 million substitute jobs over the last 12 months at an estimated value of $3.8 billion in substitute earnings. We filled 38 million substitute jobs in the last 12 months with an estimated value of $3.3 billion in substitute earnings per year. 2.5 million teachers log in weekly or daily to the Frontline platform to manage their records and book their absences. 1.2 million substitutes are pre-approved and vetted by schools using mobile apps. Over 14.5 million applications were submitted for jobs on AppleTrack, our recruiting platform, over the past 12 months. We recently acquired Teachers with 2,000 clients, and merging that with K-12 JobSot, we have about 3 million teacher and staff applicants in the system, running through the system. We've got the largest teacher and evaluation professional development business in the industry. Our recruiting bundles were just ranked by SimilarWeb as the 500th most trafficked website in the world. We have 750,000 teachers log in weekly or monthly to our platform to schedule and track professional growth classes and participate in their evaluation process. So this scale of data and transactions really dwarfs our nearest competitor, along with this exclusive focus on K-12 and best-in-class HCM capabilities. We feel we're positioned very well as a platform company with a great lead in the space, but more importantly, really solving a lot of problems in K-12 school districts. These are our vision and mission statements. I talk a little bit about our culture. I mentioned that previously. We do feel very, very strongly about the fact that at the other end of what we do, that we're doing good in K-12 districts and helping kids. Partnering with the education community to prepare kids with skills for today and for tomorrow and a lifetime of learning. So our vision, really, we talk about that as that's what gets us out of bed in the morning, and then our mission is what we do when we get to work. and serving the members of the education community with integrated solution insights, and we underline caring people. So we really are trying to build and maintain a very highly productive culture, but a culture that everybody wants to come to work every day, as I said, and get the discretionary energy from people and feel good about what we're doing. We're doing good and we're doing well, and it's a great place to be. I'm absolutely thankful that I'm at Frontline. It's an incredible organization. So in summary, we've got sustainable organic revenue growth. We have about $1 billion worth of revenue opportunity just cross-selling in our base. So it's an incredible opportunity from a cross-sell perspective, and we have tremendous organic revenue growth. We also have this M&A engine, which has really been pretty finely tuned. We have playbooks that after every acquisition, we go back and pour everything we've learned. We have reviews with our board at 6, 12, and 24 months on a business case that we present in order to do a deal, so we know that we're on the hook, and provides a lot of accountability and visibility for us on the board. And I won't do a deal unless I have one of my executives pounding the table to do it. If I look at if I look at the 5 folks on the team and I don't have anybody jumping up and down for an acquisition, I don't care how I feel about it and how strongly I think we ought to do it, I won't do it. Clear market leader in K-12, there's no question about it. Strong track record in M&A, and as I said, the management team is phenomenal. And I think leveraging the largest K-12 database for the good of education is just the cherry on top for us, and we really enjoy what we do. I appreciate your time. I think I'm out. I don't know if we have time for a question, if there is one, or I'll hang out here.